Praise the living God. Praise the Almighty God. May we give a round of applause to our blessed Jesus. Life in the tomb. That's the theme for this day. Life in the tomb. We can still recall the sharing yesterday night about that lady who smashed the alabaster jar to follow Jesus radically. Today, this very lady, wholly resolved to follow Jesus, even when everyone else had returned, Mary Magdalene went back to the tomb in search of Jesus. Brothers, sisters, and very interesting, two angels met with Mary to say, Jesus is no longer in the tomb. You can't find life further in the tomb. Life is no longer in the tomb. Love is not to be found in the tomb. Light is not to be found in the tomb. True happiness is not to be found in the tomb. Consummate pleasure is not to be found in the tomb, because the tomb is sin. Sin is the tomb. So, true love, Jesus, is not to be found in the tomb. This is the classical message of the angels today. Many years ago, there was a very handsome young man from a very aristocratic family, really influential family. The dad was one of the ruling class, members of the ruling class. This young man, he was possessed by the demon of vanity. The demon of vanity. Look at them. He will spend great fortune to buy just a necklace. Great fortune to buy just a wristwatch. Great fortune to buy his shirt. Brothers and sisters, I want to ask you a simple question. I don't know whom you are, but I wish to ask you this. Could it be possible that in some of your foreign trips, you are ready to spend 80,000 times 2? That's 160,000. Just to purchase a Brazilian, is it weave-on or wig? Which one? Okay, Brazilian hair. Is it possible that you are ready to spend such a large fortune when so many people out there are dying of starvation? Just think of this. Is it possible that you are ready to spend 500,000 naira on just a pair of shoes and a handbag? 500,000 naira in a shopping mall at the United States of America, London, Paris, or wherever, Dubai. Yet some people, as a family, have no shelter over them. Just imagine this. Someday, brothers and sisters, guess what? Someday we shall discover the vanity of life. You've truly lived depending on the number of souls you were able to transform their lives. Every other thing is waste. You've lived nobly, depending on how many families you were able to change their desiccated and ugly situation onto something enlivening. We are spending so much on things that are not worth it. How many families do you know that? Just imagine 500,000 naira, and then you can just use them to purchase bags of rice. You get down to your village, and then you tell those indigent, wretched families, come and take half bags. I assure you of this, they will canonize you alive. They will canonize, they will move for your canonization. Because it is something that touches life. People are dying, and we are spending millions on things that are not worth it. You would imagine 500,000 on just a handbag. And then I once met, a family that said, yes, Father. It was the man who was reporting the wife to me, because they have me for their spiritual director. The man told me, Father, ask my wife how much she bought this pair of shoe and handbag. And I was looking at the wife, and the wife said, hey, Demonia Asari, that is, my husband, they gossip to fiakwa, always gossiping. And I was insistent. Okay, now tell me then. And the lady said, Father, anyway, it's just 500,000 naira. A handbag and a pair of shoes. Brothers, this is near injustice. This nearing injustice. On the grounds of charity, this is really uncharitable. That some people have no food on their table, and we are spending touch lives with the money you have in your bank account. Touch so much lives. I'm not even talking about those in your village. Think of so many brothers and sisters who come to the church in this St. Dom with you. At the end of the Mass, you board your car or your jeep with your family with enough dishes already set on the table, whereas the brother with whom you gave the kiss of peace have nothing to take after this Mass. Nothing. And he's not even sure of the next meal. That is, after the Mass in the morning, say 10 o'clock Mass, he has nothing for the lunch. And he's not even sure of anything at night. And yet we have excess to waste even. Back to the story. This young man, possessed by the demon of vanity, he spent so heavily to procure what he dons, his wares. And this young man, knowing that he was handsome enough, he will spend about 15 to 30 minutes on the mirror dressing his hair. Just like women, just a white man, of course, a young boy. This thing continued, and he knew that young girls admire him while he walks the street. So whenever he's about to appear, he dresses so gorgeously. And when from time to time he will all of a sudden do this thing, he will see some girls peeping from their windows. It continued this way. One fateful day, their village, maybe like Lagos and Ogun. Think they share a border, is it? Ogun and Lagos share a border. Okay. So Lagos and Ogun, for instance, they fought, and his village was maybe say like Lagos. So in that battle, he was really a valiant, very strong. He discovered that there came a point when he needed to fight so violently to save his town. So he went with his gun almost onto the threshold of his enemies. He posed in a very hidden manner to strike any of the enemy who emerges. Unfortunately for him, he never knew that where he was standing with his gun, he never knew he had set his leg on the mouth of the keg of a gunpowder. You know the cannon gun in the village released where people die. So he never knew he had set one of his legs on the mouth of one of those gunpowder. So when his enemies discovered this, they lighted the substance, and his leg was shattered. They took him to the nearby hospital, and the doctor did all he could, at least to fix up the bones, and after a long time, it healed. But at the end of the war, when he returned home, he discovered that he could only walk this way. Look at me. That very handsome young man who used to walk so elegantly, admired by young girls, could only walk now this way. And not just walking this way. Guess what? One of the bones protruded onto his trouser. So, for him to wear any trouser, it must be torn. Because one of the bones was like this. Back home, whenever he's walking, trust young girls. Some young girls who are walking past him will say, "Oh my God, we are not laughing at you. We are just cracking joke." So they were making mockery of him. At a point, this young man said, "No, I can't take this any longer." He went to their family physician, orthopedic doctor, and told the doctor, "Doctor, please, what will it take? What will it take to fix up my leg again? Whatever it will take, I'm ready." Then the doctor told this young man, to heal it or to restore it will require total break. That is, your leg will be broken again, so that the healing could be really from the root. After some reflections, this young man asked the doctor, "So once you break my leg again, you get it back in order, in a perfect shape?" The doctor said yes. This young man returned to the hospital, placed his leg on the couch, and the doctor with a very heavy iron. Brothers, if only you could imagine what men had done, how much they've spent to restore this physical beauty, then you see that you've done nothing to restore your spiritual beauty. This young man placed his leg and told the doctor, "Break it again." And the doctor lifted the heavy iron. Quah, quah, quah. The leg was split, was shattered and broken again. He was only heard saying, And when the doctor was done with breaking the leg, the doctor told him about the protrusion would you mind we attend to it immediately? And if we must do this, then we require a saw. A saw to saw it off. So that we can get it perfectly in order. And this young man told the doctor, since you've begun, go on with it. And the doctor got his saw and sawed off a part of the bone, the protrusion. He was on his hospital bed, now recovering. When at a point he told the cousin sister who was nursing him, he told her, please, would you mind getting me any of those romantic novels? He was really a slave to romantic novels. Brothers, nothing destroys the soul as porns and romantic novels. Especially when it comes to the point of purity and chastity. The porns, romantic novels. Do not say, I'm addicted, I just love reading such novels. It's just like watching porns via movie, then YouTube, WhatsApp, and all these social media. You can never be safe. You are never safe after watching it. No matter how mature you are. Even if your course of canonization had been pronounced, and you say, I'm now matured enough to watch porn, you are not safe. This young man demanded this pornographic, romantic novel from the cousin. The cousin, after an intense search for a romantic novel, returned to tell him, I couldn't see any. And the young man told the cousin, still, I want to beg you, seek out, find any similar work. After searching, the cousin returned with a book, The Life of Christ. And this young man told the cousin, will you take this nonsense away? I'm talking of romantic novels and you are getting me The Life of Christ. After the cousin had sought for and found none, this young man told the cousin, I beg, bring me that nonsense Life of Christ. Why he opened this book, he was amazed. The lines that struck him were this: you are searching for life where you can't find it. You are searching for true happiness where it is not. Only in Jesus would you find true peace. Ask the things of this world to deceive you no more. They have deceived you enough that it's time for you to return to Jesus. This young man busted out into tears. He told the cousin, please, would you mind inviting a priest to me? The cousin was surprised, knowing his past life, a slave to sex and life of debauchery, a slave to vanity. The cousin summoned the priest. The priest came after confession. He was given the Blessed Sacrament. He received the Holy Communion. After a long while, he fully recovered. Guess what? His leg was never restored. It was lost. He continued to limp till death. But something happened. He once went into the chapel to pray. He heard the voice of Jesus telling him, the life of worldliness is over. Is now you begin the life of Christ. He was touched. After some prayers and advice, seeking piece of advice from his spiritual director, he heard the voice that told him, go and become a priest. You can be a priest. He went into the University of Salamanca to be a priest. Why in that university? In those days, lecturers and students could reside in the same room. They could share a room. Lecturers and students. And very interesting, he was to reside with a lecturer. And this lecturer, I don't know how you people describe it here, but in my native parlance, we can describe such a soul as Abaniabaka. That is, every night, this lecturer would be on a woman. Every night, this roommate would be having sex with a woman every night. And while this man was still struggling to leave the bondage of lust and vanity, he saw before him a roommate who is almost dragging him back to his old life. You see a real spiritual combat, a real spiritual warfare. And brothers, sisters, many of us are also passing through the same thing. You see your neighbor in the office, or your lady friend, or your boyfriend living this kind of life, and you are now in a fix as to, should I join him, or should I maybe convert this soul? And most of the times, because we are not really spiritually on fire, we see ourselves sliding, bending to join the ugly thing. Guess what happened? In this room, only history, only God knows exactly the kind of fierce battle, spiritual battle that was waged in that very room. Every night, this young man will be on a woman. Every night, this one that is now limping will be fingering his rosary and reading his scriptures. Every night, this roommate will be saying his chaplet. This one will be on a woman. Every night. There came a time when this roommate, this one limping now, told Jesus, Jesus, I cease to pray for myself. I now channel and direct every grace from this prayer to my roommate. Convert my roommate. Convert my roommate. Brothers and sisters, this was real warfare, spiritual warfare. You can't believe it. After some years, while this man who was limping was preparing for morning mass, the roommate told him, "Bia, if you are preparing for that morning mass, so wake me when you are ready." He was like, "What's happening?" You can't underestimate the power of grace. You can't underestimate the power of grace. He told him, "When you are ready, wake me up." That fateful night, this roommate didn't come into the room with any woman. He tapped on him, "Get up. I'm about to prepare for the morning mass." He woke up, brushed his teeth, washed his face, dressed up. Both of them, for the first time, went to morning mass in their life. Okay, went to morning mass as roommates. They returned to the room. Still, this one was a professor, renowned professor. This one still a student studying philosophy. After a while, this one who was limping became a great source of spiritual strength to this one. Brothers, I wish to enjoin you. Do you know that soul around you who appears to be hopeless in sin, that you are the agent God is calling, with which God intends to convert this soul? Don't join him or her. God wants to use you. Don't fall back to your ancient sin. God is intending, he has this mighty plan of using you to convert your husband, of using you to convert your wife, Don't say, since my husband is now dating other women outside, then I better find someone else to help. No! You are there on a very critical mission, assignment. God has the mighty plan. Just think of the ills of Monica. Monica came into a marriage at a very tender age. Say Monica, the mother of Augustine. On arrival, she can't explain the source of rejection or anger with which this mother-in-law was heaping abuses on her every day. Monica, after slaps, after taking insults, we return to the chapel and tell Jesus, Jesus, I consecrate this mother-in-law into your hands. Only you can transform her. Every day she prayed with tears. One fateful day, the mother-in-law told her, when you are ready for morning mass, wake me up. That mother-in-law was radically converted. Then after the mother-in-law came the husband, Patricius, the father of St. Augustine, a drunk, licentious, womanizer, and a bully. He could slap hell out of Monica. And Monica directed the graces from her prayer onto the husband again. God transformed this man. After so many years, the husband was transformed. And it was after the conversion of the husband that the husband demanded from her, would you mind taking me to a priest so that I will be baptized? He was baptized after a year after his conversion. He laid on his bed and told Monica from his sick bed, you are the best woman ever in life. With these words, he closed his eyes and died. Just a year before his death, he was converted by the wife. And then came Augustine. Monica will have to pray for 21 good years to convert this son. 21 good years. Never you give up. In this struggle, either in your family, in your office, never you give up. No worldly solution can really help. No worldly, earthly, carnal solution will really help. Maybe you are the ilk, maybe you are in an office where your manager is suggesting a life of impurity so that you will be promoted. Human connections have their limits. Human connections. It could be instantaneous. It could be quick. But divine connection is limitless. Just believe these words. This young man and the roommate, back to the young man and the roommate. After their graduation, they were now in theology. Because at a point, the one limping told the roommate, brother, I must make this confession to you. I want to give my life to Jesus as a Catholic priest. The Abaniabaka, that's the one that every day was on women, also confided to the roommate, I would also love to be a Catholic priest. Both of them entered the theological studies. They were ordained the same day. After their ordination, after their ordination, the one that was limping now became the spiritual director to the one who was once a womanizer. And one day he wrote to him, I don't think that by being here in this city, I can really make atonement for my sins against Jesus. See, because the closer you come to Jesus, you discover your wretchedness. The more you come to Jesus, if I were to be wearing a white soutane now, sprinkled with oil, if this whole place we are to be dark, nobody will see it. But the closer I come to light, all the more I see it. That's why so many people, they go to confession without making genuine, sincere confession. Because they don't even see so many things as sin. They never confess kissing a man. I thought it's not kissing. Kissing. Wasn't kissing. That a man maybe romance their boss or something is not a sin. That they were hurling words, abusive words on their mates is never a sin. That they snapped themselves naked in a WhatsApp or video call and was never a sin to them. That they engage in indecent calls. Baby, are you back home? Yes. Are you in your room now? Yes. Have you showered? Yes. Are you about to shower? No. What are you wearing? Wearing nighty. Hey, oh my Jesus. This is not a sin. It's not. These things are not sin to some people because they are still far away from Jesus. The closer you draw to Jesus, you see how iniquitous our souls are. How dirty, how stinking we are. This young man, he told the friend, I don't think I've made enough atonement and reparation for my past. Would you mind sending me to a nation that had never heard the name of Jesus Christ? Then the friend, the man limping now, wrote this letter, sending him to the Indian nation. You would imagine when this young man, this womanizer who is now a priest, when he arrived in the Indian nation, he was the only priest in the whole of India. You would imagine when the whole nation of India had only one parish priest. Sometimes for baptism, he will lean on the wall from morning till night, baptizing the people. Sometimes about 10,000 persons will be baptized in a day. He will continue to baptize from around 6:30 after the morning mass till around 3 a.m. in the night. At times, people will have to support him so that he does not fall. Brothers, this young man without any shoe, he walked from north to south, east to west of India, preaching the gospel of Christ, making atonement for his sins. He bore his bell, ringing, and children everywhere were attracted to him. And guess what? God used him to manifest his power. At a point, when people would be about 20,000 persons eager to listen to him, he would tell Jesus, I'm speaking of a world without microphone about 500 years ago. That was when this young man was in India. A world, we are not even up to, who knows, 1,000 or 2,000 here. Yet it's difficult to speak to you. You would imagine where 20,000 persons had gathered to hear the word of God. And this young man would tell Jesus, Jesus, this is your word. Manifest your power. He would tell the people, praise the living God. And everybody will hear it no matter your distance. God amazed the world through this very priest. And guess what? Remember, he was a Spanish and now sent to Indian nation. He couldn't speak their language. When he's speaking it in his own Spanish language, the Indians will be understanding him perfectly. It was awesome. After so many years, the Chinese heard of this priest and wrote to him. They asked him, please, would you mind coming over to our nation? We need also to hear you. He boarded his boat, his ship, the very big vessel, on his way to China. Along on the sea, on the high sea, he whispered to those, his assistants. He told them, brothers, would you mind stopping by the side of the seashore? Would you mind just parking by the side? They told him, Father, I hope all is well. He told them, just park a while. While they parked, they discovered he was coughing. He was coughing, so feverish. His temperature had risen so badly. They brought him out of the ship and laid him by the side of the seashore. They tried to gather some herbs with which to cure him 500 years ago. What happened? At a point he told them, brothers, all my sins had been paid for. I can now see Jesus. Behold, the heaven has opened over me. Behold the angels of God coming to take me. See you in heaven. He closed his eyes and died. He was buried by the seashore. And those people returned back to Spain to tell his people that their son was dead. Then it was after about 16 to 26 years that they came back. The Spanish people said, it's better we go down to maybe pick the bones of our brother. At least he had labored so greatly in those foreign lands. They came and saw where an inscription was made. Here lies the body of Father Francis. So with their shovel and spade, they dug by the side of the casket around the tomb. After a while, they saw the coffin, and one of them with his spade struck so rudely, so hard, and the shovel broke through the coffin and entered into the coffin, wounding his finger, and it was bleeding. An incorruptible St. Francis Xavier. And what of his roommate, the one that was limping? St. Ignatius of Loyola, the Jesuits. This is the history of some of the saints. Just to remind you that no matter how checkered your past had been, don't remain in the tomb. There is no life in the tomb. There is no true love in the tomb. God is inviting each and every one of us, return to life in Christ. Mary Magdalene is now taking up this message. Those who encounter Jesus, take up the message throughout the whole world. There is no life in the tomb. No life. Jesus is now in the upper room. Jesus is now walking the streets. Who will be his vanguard? The witnesses of Christ in the 21st century. Where are they? The witnesses of Jesus in the choir. The witnesses of Jesus among the members of the Catholic Women Organization. The witnesses of Jesus among the members of the lay leaders, the CMO, the Sion. The witnesses of Jesus in St. Jude's Society, in Sacred Heart Society. The witnesses of Jesus in the parish council. Where are they? Those who will remind the world that here is not our home. That there is no life in the tomb. Brothers, great parishioners of St. Dominic's, I wish to ask you, are you living in the tomb? Saying is the tomb. Are you living in the tomb? Are you in any tomb? Saying is the tomb. Are you residing? Have you taken for your habitat the tomb? Have you made it home? Anything? Your place of abode. Think of spiritual laziness. Sloth. Spiritual laziness. Some people are so fagged out to lift up their rosary. Going to this family, the man without the wife and the kids during the time for rosary or prayers. Mama Sunday, take these children, go. I'm tired. And sometimes if you should join in the prayers, the prayer will go on. And this man will doze off. He will sleep off. Then, within 15 minutes that the rosary was said, he was comfortably sleeping in the sofa in the parlor, in the sitting room. Then, when the wife says in tones, or one of their child who led in the prayer in tones, we fly to your patronage, O Holy Mother of God. Maybe the neighbors may shout, go! He will say, wow! It's true. Today is we are having the final for Chelsea Man U. Oh my God! Give me the remote. This man couldn't say 15 decades. 15 minutes for the rosary. Now this man will sit down without blinking his eyes and sit before the telly watching the whole rounds of the final. First 45 minutes gone without any sleep crossing his eyes. First 15 minutes half time. Then another 45 minutes he's still up, wholly awake and vigilant. After the 90 minutes plus the 15 minutes of free time is now how many? 115 minutes. Then extra time of about 4 minutes. 119 minutes. Then the first 15 minutes to know if there is any team that will be the first to score. No goal yet. Another 15 minutes. It will be how many? About 150 minutes or 59 minutes. Then, without any goal, penalty. Hey! He will shout and call the wife. My wife, today not today. Today not today. This man will balance. Sometimes he goes to the refrigerator, collects a bottle of Star or beer or Hero. With this before him, then if the penalty will be taken 1 hour or 2 hours, he's equal to the task. This was the man who couldn't say 15 minutes. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. He had come to steal, to kill, and destroy. See, so many people are now so weak in the things of the spiritual. A young lady, we have her phone, her iPad, and will be ready to chat from 8 o'clock in the night after serving the dad his meal or his parents their meal and serving the siblings. From 8 o'clock, she will be ready to be awake till around 4. Via WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever, or making calls. Wake this girl up under normal circumstance around 12. Tell her that the family wants to say just 30 minutes prayer from 12 at night till about 1 or 12:30. She would sleep off. Brothers, have you ever asked yourself, what is the factor that weakens my spiritual fibers? Ask yourself. The devil is really working so assiduously to destroy so many souls. Think of it. You can't really find life where you think it is. God is inviting us all. I challenge you all. Let us return to Jesus Christ. No matter how stinking, no matter how rotten you think You might have bone in your tomb. Remember our brother Lazarus. For 4 good days, he had been in the tomb. And when Jesus arrived, Martha went to him. Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. I know you. And Jesus said, your brother will live. Yeah, Jesus, I know. I know. I know. Jesus, I know. It's what? Jesus, I know. But I know what I'm saying, but it's okay. It's okay. I know he will rise on the last day. I know he will rise. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Jesus said, Martha, do you understand me? Your brother will live. And Jesus said, if anyone believes in me, he will not die. And even if he died, he will rise again. Do you believe this? She said, yes, Lord, I believe. I believe you are the God. Jesus said, show me where he was laid. Show me his tomb. Tonight, Jesus is saying, show me your tomb. Where your soul was laid in sin. That sin that had become your tomb. Jesus is telling you, show it to me. Do not be scared of showing Jesus. Some people could be skeptical, saying, if I should show Jesus, he won't be happy with me again. Jesus is saying, show me your tomb. And Jesus is inviting you. Show me your tomb. Show me your tomb. Your tomb. Your tomb. That thing that you are residing in is your tomb. And Martha said, okay, Jesus, come, let's go. They went to the tomb, and Jesus said, roll the stone away. Brothers, there is something you need to roll away before Jesus can really do something. If you really desire the miracle of holiness, Jesus is telling you, roll this stone away. The stone could be the occasion of sin in your life. Roll this stone away. I remember St. Vincent de Paul. A young man came to him and told him, Father, actually I'm enslaved to one particular lady, and every time, in fact, Father, I don't know how. St. Vincent, after long counsel to this young man, told him, young man, from every indication now, the only counsel I can give to you is that you pack out of that vicinity to save your soul. And the man had to pack out. Sometimes we need to take radical steps to save our souls. And Jesus said, roll the stone away. When the stone was rolled away, Jesus lifted up his eyes. Still, he could hear the musings and the sighs of Mary and Martha. Jesus, lifting up his eyes to heaven, invoking his Father, he said with a loud voice, Lazarus, come out! And Lazarus, the man, bounded with clothes and all whatnot, with cords all over him. He rose. He was making steps. And Jesus said, unbind him and let him go. That's the miracle of grace. Even if you had stayed for 4 days, even if you've rotten in a particular sin, never mind about what Jesus can do. You are just a perfect specimen in the divine laboratory. He can transform, he can heal you perfectly and make a saint out of you. Don't lose hope in Jesus. Are you still in your tomb? Who is your tomb? What thing is your tomb? The tomb is never a place to live. Jesus is not in the tomb. Your sin is your tomb. May we stand? I want you to look up. Look up to the cross now. Now Jesus pull me out from my tomb. Could be anger, could be wickedness, could be malice, could be jealousy. In your heart, name your tomb. Jesus is telling you, show me the tomb where you buried. He was buried. He's ready to make it anew. To make something new from you. Do something new in my life. Something new in my life. Something new in my life. Oh Lord, do something new. New in my And may it be so in Jesus' mighty name.